Do 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 do. Welcome, y'all, to Wally's wacky, wonderful, wacky show, starring me, the Holy Vampire. I was thinking about that. I was walking in the door. I was like, Wally's wacky, wonderful, wacky show. I know. I was excited about it. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did with my phone charger. Eventually, I'm gonna run out of battery. Don't matter. Oh. What a day today. I'll tell you what. Today was amazing. Even the bad parts are so great. The bad parts are like me going to a job interview and not knowing it was an interview, which is like I thought it was just a meeting, informational meeting. And I show up and the guy's like, "What are you doing? Come on back here. Come into my office." And I like walk into his office and I'm just looking at him like a normal guy, right? Like a normal guy would. Not saying I'm a normal guy, but there I was. Wonderful, wacky Wally, I should say. And I was talking to him. He's just like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up? You gotta be wearing a shirt like mine. You see, like I gotta wear this shirt every day." I said, "What?" And I told him I apologized. Like I apologized. I was like, "Thought this was an informational meeting." And like before that, it was so funny. I walk into his office and I'm holding a coffee. Like I'm so unprepared for this. It's hilarious. And I'm holding a coffee, and of course I've got coffee on my hands because that's just I'm riding a bicycle down flipping highway or whatever with a coffee cup. You're gonna spill some coffee on your hand. Anyways, I got coffee in my on my hand. He goes to shake my hand, and I was completely. You know how there's an appropriate amount of time that you have before it gets weird or disrespectful. So I got my coffee in my hand, put my coffee out of my hand, and I'm just like, at first I was shocked. So I'm like, why is this guy shaking my hand? This is quite strange. Let me explain. A lot of things. I mean, it's very obvious. It's like when you're playing a card game or something like that, and you're talking to someone. You both know. You're both adults. We're past certain things. Clearly, very obviously, we're very good at reading people. Very good at speaking. Um, we're having fun, and we're demonstrating who we are. And clearly, I've got my own style. I got a very unique style, and I love my style. I love who I am. I love my style. I've developed it. Keep developing myself, but I know what I'm doing. But I wasn't prepared for this interview, and this guy, I think he's playing along too. He's very nice, very nice person. But it was really funny though that I wasn't trying to be obnoxious. I really wasn't. I mean, I want this job. I'm not trying to be an asshole either. So I was like explaining. I felt terrible afterwards. It's like I'm not playing, right? Like I'm just like 90% of me is like you can see that like it's very obvious. I can I'm a I can do this. I can do this job. You know, but no, he I definitely took the criticism, took the pain, I should say, of failure. And you're just like, well, next time I'm gonna take off my nail polish, take off my makeup. I wear a little bit of makeup. Love it. I love wearing makeup. Put on a dress shirt, a nice colorful one of some sort, not black. Even though I want to, that's be the only dress shirt I would wear. But anyways, I'm gonna show up next week, and yeah, it's just like I realize from like a team perspective, it's like it's for the team. But it's like I acknowledge if I think of it like as a challenge, like I have to adapt my style, who I am. It's like obviously I don't have to do that every day. Only when meeting with clients. And I know I don't have to do that either. Like I'm so flippin' skilled and talented. Like I know what I just felt like massively disrespected. Like massively. And I'm sure that he felt massively disrespected too. But it's like that's part of the reason why I'm doing it, to get to fail, fail forward. I mean, I've got, I realized I thought about this last night. I was waking up like 4 or 5 times last night. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was thinking to myself, just be myself, my style, just be extremely confident, and have all my skills and stuff, and get knocked down and go through the process of getting back up. I know how to do it. I've done it so many times, and then adapt and pivot my how I am, my mindset, and then come back next day, have a mentality. It's a new day. Just keep going, keep building, keep growing. So that's how I am. Um, but it definitely did hurt. And there was a couple. It's probably about an hour. There was an hour today, hours worth of time where I was just. I knew I was hurt. I knew I felt that failure. I even knew before, as I was riding my bike home, I was thinking to myself, I was preparing myself mentally. I could read all the signs. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna hurt. I'm gonna be so depressed, sad, failure. I embarrassed myself, and this other person got mad at me. That's it's the business. Um, and I'm just like, I feel so like it's like I understand, but clearly, but just being myself. And I explained several times. I'm like, hey, I dress the way I do because I do YouTube videos, and it's my personality and celebrity kind of thing going on. It's who I am, and I'm still very good at speaking. I've got a different style. I've got way different style than a lot of these people. Some of these salespeople that I can recognize, you know, identify and analyze these different styles. And it's like, well, why not? Why change things? Well, That's not what I want. It's just I realize I am who I am, and for me to do my best, just got to do things in my style but that still goes along with how things are done. So I got nail polish remover. Gonna remove my nail polish and wear a nice shirt. I even felt bad about having my bicycle, which is really shitty. Like it doesn't matter. It's like we're not working with clients right now. Like there's no clients anywhere. It's just us guys. It's like I'm riding my bicycle. I'm from Colorado. even Colorado, it's like normal. That's not even a weird thing that I do in particular. People ride bicycles. I'm just like, nope, can't do that either. And like, I know my motorcycle looking thing might pass, and that's my idea. I'm like, well, I got my motorcycle looking thing that looks like a motorcycle. It looks expensive. So I'm like, well, I'll ride that around and have the excuse, besides, the whole, should I say, I have an excuse, an extra excuse, I should say. So, you know what, I'm riding this because it looks good. It's got a long range battery and it looks good. And I have to be riding something that looks good. Like, well, I don't have a car. Why don't I want to buy a motorcycle? I'm like, well, uh, you know, that's my answer. Well, even my father, he's playing games. Everybody plays games sometimes. My father's like, we can't hang out and you can't talk to me until you get serious and buy a car. I'm like, well, I said, all right, thanks. And I understand, it's good motivation, and I could use that for inspiration to do better things. But it's along the same lines, like these grown men, and I'm a grown man, right? But I'm different, but no, not too different. Just grown men enforcing their rules, and I understand that. They're playing their games. I understand that. It just gets complicated real fast, because like I said, I'm skilled and I'm intelligent and supernatural abilities, and they got their rules and their beliefs. It's just the way things are done. But it's like, okay, you know. So I'm gonna try my best. Of course, try to be respectful. I'm not trying to be, you know, oblivious, ignorant, or belligerent. I'm not trying to do any of that. Not trying to do Not trying to be an asshole, although I can be as a way of doing things when appropriate. But it's like don't. That's not what I'm doing. I want things to be easy, but I also want things to be fun. And I'm doing all this. I'm doing all this sales stuff and learning this stuff. And the interview was for life insurance. But I'm doing all this so that I can learn and grow my gift, and so that I can fail and fail forward and grow. So I'm doing it. And I'm reading all these books. My charismas. I'm opening up and working on my hostility. I'm still getting through. I know I'm talking about myself a lot, which is kind of a regrettable thing. I mentioned a couple videos ago or whatever. My book says, hey, you should never talk about yourself too much. Talk about other people. But I do like talking about other people. I've been doing that. I've been having conversations where I know I've learned what I have been missing as far as making friends. I have learned from my mistakes, and I've read it on paper. It says, I know what my problem is. They know a lot about me. I don't know a lot about them. So how do we remedy that? Speak to people. Be curious. Ask them how they're doing. And then that in turn changes me so that I become more friendly, less hostile. Like, I never knew that. I didn't know that was a thing. Until I read it on paper, and it made perfect sense. Just connected the dots. I'm like, okay, that's what I've not been doing. So it's like, you got to be curious and interested in people. I'm like, I was like, I am curious and interested in people, but I just haven't been doing that. It's just a small change. It's definitely changed. It's opened up doors. Like today, I was talking to a young lady, and there's a group of young ladies also there, just ladies in general. and I started using this strategy of just speaking, so to be friendly, friends, you know, and I felt I felt kind of I felt unease because I didn't really know what I was doing, which is interesting because I usually, I've never done. It's like practice. It's like I have all this experience practicing these different speaking styles, but this very basic form of speaking style I just completely overlooked. Um, I just feel very foolish. Uh, but I understand why I made the mistake as far as over a period of time realizing that it's coming up with the wrong way of doing things. In the book, it talked about how if a person just getting to know you, that they're not going to be your friends. It's a back and forth. You gotta know the other person, talk about the other person. The person only cares about themselves. Clearly, that's not true all the time, but most of the time, a person just likes talking about themselves. Just That's obvious. So I don't know at what point my hostility, aloofness. I know where the hostility comes from. It's just from lack of, like I said, lack of communication and feeling like a person knows a lot about me, but me not knowing the other person at all, and just feeling uncomfortable given certain, situations. And then it's just kind of like a not talking scenario, and it's just I didn't realize that was a thing. But in the book, when it was talking about it, it's like, yeah, buddy, don't do that. If you see that, and it's this kind of situation, it's wrong. And I'm like, yep, I know. That's why I don't really have any friends. Like I got people who care about me, and of course, I'm talking too much about myself again, but I got people I care about as well, clearly. But I would use the excuse as well to say because of supernatural stuff and my popularity that those are excuses as to why the hostility or the lack of communication. But totally wrong. Totally wrong. No excuses. I'm an adult. They're not excuses. There are obstacles to overcome. And so, anyways, I'm still practicing. I think what's difficult for me when practicing things is just like not knowing what happens next. It's like being surprised when a person gives you a certain kind of reaction, like a good reaction. It's like for me, I'm still learning what to expect so that I can, sadly to say it, so that I can try to be a perfectionist, uh, which is also wrong. This, this book I was reading was just like one page after another, just like all these things that I'm doing wrong. And I'm just biting my teeth or clenching my teeth as I'm reading this. I'm just like, man. I think the main feeling is just embarrassment. It's like I don't want to say shame, because like shame is usually for like mistakes. But in the thinking of that, everything I was doing was wrong and a mistake because of how I was doing it. Yeah, there's definitely a feeling of shame there and embarrassment. But I know I'm not alone in that. Like people, we're all learning. and then we go back and we pivot how we're thinking, direction. So, but one thing I am very excited about, jokingly, is that, but I am really excited is that just the opportunity to fail forward, fail forward, so to speak, so I can get rid of my perfectionism, which is just second nature to me. I don't know why. It's annoying. But just train my body to let that go. I'm not always like that. Anywho, I think I did not mean for this video to get that long, but I guess I had some things to talk about. So, all right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna rest a little bit and then go to a therapy class. So, y'all have a good night. All right, bye.